talking to Daniel Thrasher.
I was going to say, good morning.
I see you.
I see you too. I was going to say, who sees us on the radio, though?
Well, we do say stuff like that all the time.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
You really won't, but you kind of just
that's
don't.
true.
So.
Yeah.
But I imagine I can see everybody, I guess. So.
There you go.
Daniel's in. Calvin Oyster's in. I've known Calvin for probably longer than I've known you.
Probably.
Long time.
I guess.
Absolutely.
We used to do the Fairground Olympics, what we call
Farmhand Olympics. You bet. At the Expo Center and during the fair each year.
And Calvin has, I don't know if you're still active with that
I
particular
stay
event.
involved, but not to the extent I was.
But you are almost in charge of the whole event, I think, weren't you?
Well, and I've of course worked for a couple of years out there recently, as
Yeah.
marketing director, so I got to be part of a lot of events out there.
And they can do amazing things. I mean, it's amazing. You can be this one day and then Cowboy Church and then whatever is called for the next day. It's an amazing place.
You bet. They have great crews that transition them between events. It's a lot of fun out there.
Central Electric has our annual meeting out there, and Christy Morrison was there with us as part of, we had booths from the various communities there this year to help promote the communities that we serve. And when she walked in and saw how the room was set up, she's like, I need to get a picture of this because it was a new setup she hadn't seen before. And when you're trying to promote convention space and events in the Stillwater area, she's like, this is amazing. And they do a great job at the County Expo Center. The way they can turn that building around and use it for multiple things within a week or two period is pretty incredible.
Yeah. I've seen the aerial, we were talking about Chesapeake. I accidentally mentioned them before.
I wasn't going to bring it up, Steve, but I did kind of hear that.
But with Chesapeake Arena, there's the one where there would be a concert like on day after the Thunder game. And I've seen the little footage where they fast forward and show you this transformation. And I'm watching that. It amazes me what they do out here because they do. It may not be in front of 25,000 people or whatever they're holding there, but we can turn that thing into from a wedding to a rodeo in no time, which is amazing.
And they may also have 3 to 5 events going on at the same time, so different things. So they are very versatile.
Appreciate the people at Payne County Expo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell us what we're talking about today.
So Calvin serves on a foundation board for Central Electric Cooperative, and wanted to share a story about Operation Roundup and what that program is. And in 2006, Operation Roundup was established by Central Electric Cooperative. That program is all possible by our members. So our members are the consumers who use the electricity from Central Electric Cooperative. They have an option to round their bill up to the nearest dollar. So if your electric bill that month is $200.10, and you just decide that I want my bill rounded up to the nearest dollar and rounded up to $201, that 90 cents goes into a foundation, a fund called Operation Roundup. And then our Central Electric Cooperative Board appoints board members from the districts to serve on this foundation board. And every other month, they meet 6 times a year. They take in grant applications from the communities, from schools, from churches, from individuals who may have a need, and they review those grant applications and then give those dollars back out into the community. And since 2006, we've actually now had over $500,000 given back to areas here in central Oklahoma through that fund. So I thought it'd be great to have Calvin on this morning to talk about that program, talk about what it means to be a board member with that program, the type of grant applications we see and what we're looking for with that fund, and how we want that fund to grow and continue to be used, because it's the generosity of central members that makes that happen. And so we want to highlight that, but also share the great things that happens through that fund.
Okay, how many members do you have?
So we were talking, Calvin and I were actually talking about that the other day. So we have over 21,000 meters that we serve. So a meter might not equate to one person. You could have a company or an individual that has more than one meter. But so there's over 21,000 meters. And then at a home, you might have one member, but it's a 4 or 5 or 6 person household. So it's really hard for us to say how many people.
But the meters is what
serve.
I wanted to know, I guess, because you can see where that would add up to $500,000.
Absolutely, yeah. So about $6,500 a month is what we see go into that fund each month because of the central membership. And if you think about it, if a member participates in that, it's gonna be less than $12 a year. I mean, you're never gonna be over what it would be like $11.88. You would never be over that amount because you're just rounding up to the nearest dollar. So it's a huge impact for just a little bit of money that each individual member gives, but it's added up to over $500,000 since 2006 that have been given back. inside Central Service area.
How long you been on the board?
Oh, I couldn't even tell you how many years exactly at this point. I've been on there several years.
What prompted you to join the board? Let me ask that.
Well, I would just say this is one of, I've had the opportunity to work on lots of different boards and committees over the years, but I would say this is one of the more rewarding opportunities I've ever experienced, just because everything you do is going to help some organization or some community or some individual. So, it's just been one of those things that you like to see this meeting coming up every time, because you know you're going to be in there and doing things that are going to help people.
Who have you helped?
Oh, we help everybody from individuals who have personal needs applications for their own, individual personal crisis or whatever is happening in their lives, up to schools that over the past few years in particular, the schools have been,
Sure.
lacking in funding in so many areas that there have been a lot of projects in the different communities that we've been able to help with, and then food pantries that help so many different area individuals. We've been able to help in a lot of their needs.
I think that's something that a lot of us that grew up in loving homes and maybe didn't want for food, we certainly didn't have a lot of extra money, but we always had a meal on the table. And so you assume that everybody else does.
Yeah.
And working with United Way and stuff that we do, we have a need here that a lot of people probably aren't aware of.
Well, and groups like that do things like the food pantries sometimes have needs that come up where a large commercial cooler quits and they need to replace it, and they don't have, the funds available to do that. And we've been able to help several times in those areas, and those things are benefiting a lot of people in the community. So you're really happy to be able to make that happen for them.
Calvin, when you say food pantries, you say plural. You serve such a wide area with Central. Are there food
Definitely.
pantries throughout your district?
There are. I know, last week we had a group from Coil on, and there's been food pantries in that area. Of course, here in Stillwater, we're very familiar with the work of Becky Taylor and Our Daily Bread, and such a big impact they've made. And that's an organization that the Operation Roundup has supported in the past. So yeah, there are needs across the community, across all the communities, and a lot of those smaller communities will have. And if you go to Facebook, you can find them. They'll have information about pantries in their community.
Are some through churches and stuff
Yeah, a
like
lot
that?
of them are through churches or organizations that in those or the school districts play a role in that.
Yeah.
and host those events. So,
Their after school and weekend backpack programs and things like that we've been able to help with too.
Well, by tapping into the schools and the teachers, and your mom was a teacher, and I come from a family of teachers, they know what's going on in the community at the
Yes,
homes.
they do.
They're the ones that do.
We have some teachers on our board that have been really
I bet.
beneficial in some of the areas of knowing what to talk about and what to ask, as it involves schools and projects.
yeah, speaking of schools, my first interaction with the Central Community Foundation was through Coyle Public Schools and the Coyle School Foundation. We had requested a grant through Operation Roundup for new playground equipment. And this would have been probably in 2007 or 2008. And we actually had a ribbon cutting, and Central was there, and I didn't know much about the program until that point. And then that Central has also supported some other initiatives at the school through the grant program, including the basketball court that Coach
Right.
Renders and Brendan were here last week and talking about. And the students actually filled out that grant application. So we saw it as a great opportunity for them to learn, how do I ask for a grant? How do I apply for it? What information? So we actually had the students fill that out and submit it, and the board at that time approved that grant. So again, just another example of just different ways that the Community Foundation has been able to give back for schools. And then I know you had Rob Hill on just before us, the flooding that we recently had, with disaster relief. That's another area of focus for the foundation. So if you're a member out there or you're an individual out there that has suffered from flooding, and maybe resources through FEMA or insurance maybe didn't cover everything you needed, this is another option for you to be able to seek funding and apply for a grant through Central's Community Foundation. And disaster relief is one of the key areas that our board in that area try to support.
Calvin, how do they do that?
Well, they can apply to us each for each meeting, as he said, our meetings are every other month, and there are, deadlines ahead of that you make application through Central for, but our applications are in different categories according to either personal needs or healthcare or education or disaster relief. And so you find the proper category for what your needs are and make an application through Central. Daniel's gonna give you the information on how to apply, but.
Yeah, so if you go to mycentral.coop, our website, under the community tab, there is a link to Operation Roundup, and that page gives you all the information you would need, and all the grant guidelines and what that committee is looking for, and their applications based on what those needs are. So you can fill those out, bring them by our office, email them in, fax them in, and if you have any questions about the grant process or what you need to know, give us a call at our office. You can call 372-2884. That's in the 405 area code. Ask for Erin Talley. Erin's our employee liaison with the foundation. She does a great job of getting their board packets ready and having all that information for the board each month, and attends those meetings and keeps track of the finances and all of that information for the community foundation. So ask for Erin. She can help get you any information you need about the grant process and follow up with you on grant applications and things of that nature. Or if you're a member out there and you're not currently participating in Operation Roundup and are interested in learning more or getting more involved, just call our office, again, 405-372-2884. Ask for one of our member services reps, and they can talk to you about how to sign up for it, what that process looks like, and how to get more involved in giving to Operation Roundup.
Very good. Might get a break in here, and then we'll do part two.
Sounds great.
As Daniel and Calvin in with Central Electric, and you've been there a couple of years now, haven't you?
Yeah, 2.5 years, yeah.
Huh.
Time flies when you're
Lost
having
my
fun.
bet. I didn't think he'd last. But, I knew they had a gym right away.
I appreciate that.
Taking time out. We're back after this. Stillwater this morning, Scramble. Glad to have you here at 41. See Stacy Delano in. She's the new librarian. She's not new to Stillwater by any means, but she's in charge now. She'll do a great job. She's coming up here next. Talk about the library.
I'm gonna have to ask her what she thinks about listening to books versus reading books, because my wife and I have this argument all the time. So
You like to read them,
No, I like to listen.
do you?
Yeah, so I'm an Audible user. I love listening to books, and so we have a family reading challenge, and whoever reads the most pages gets, I can't remember what, it's like $50 or something at the end of the summer. So it's a way to get our kids, to read and not watch TV all the time. But last year I argued, because I listened to more books over the
So
summer.
are you really reading? Is what the argument would be.
And she claims I'm not. I'm retaining the information just
Right.
as much as you are reading it. So I lost the argument. I mean, no surprise out there. Anybody who knows me, my wife knew I would lose that argument. But still, I say that my listening to books should count as much as reading. So.
Well, you make a good point. The fact that you get the information.
Well,
there.
we all learn differently. I'm a
That's right.
visual audio learner. I do better in that way. If I start reading a book, sometimes my mind just wanders and.
Well, you know what? I do too.
Yeah.
And I love to read. I do, but I'll go back and go, okay, I have no idea what that page
Right,
just
yeah,
said.
yeah.
Because you're thinking about it and stuff, and you go, okay, gotta start over.
Yeah.
But there's sort of some
So
like
yeah.
that.
So I'll have to ask her that question. And
Do you like them with accents or anything like that?
no, I listen.
You know,
to
like
whatever is
like
going
Mark
on.
Twain with a British accent just doesn't work for me.
Yeah. That would be interesting. Wouldn't it? Yeah.
Anyway, what's going on? We wanted to cover in part two here.
Yeah, so again, we're here today highlighting the Central Community Foundation and Operation Roundup, which is an opportunity for Central members that they round their electric bill up to the nearest dollar, and those funds go into a foundation that then Calvin and our other board members that serve on the Central Community Foundation, they receive grant applications and 6 times a year meet and review those applications. The next available time to submit a grant, you actually have a little bit of time. It's between now and September 15th. And so if you're interested in applying, you can go to mycentral.coop, go to our community tab, go to Operation Roundup. All of our grant applications are there, the guidelines are there, who to contact for more information is all there on that website. But you can submit those by September 15th, and then the board will meet in October and make decisions on those grant applications at that time. So if you have a personal need, if you've been in a situation maybe with the recent flooding or storms and been affected by that disaster, if you're a school out there and there's some educational needs that you may have that traditional funding is just not helping cover, this may be an avenue for your organization to be able to get support here in Central Oklahoma. And we're glad to have Calvin on this morning as one of our board members to represent that group and really share the story of Operation Roundup and what our members do through that program.
Very good. Appreciate what you do, and you're on lots of boards, as you mentioned in the past, so you've always been active in the community.
Sure.
So you said this is one of your favorite ones, and for a number of reasons.
It is, to me, it's very interesting that this organization has been able to help in 22 different communities across central Oklahoma that is, part of the service area of Central Electric. So, to say that we're just a Stillwater organization or one area is not true. We've been able to help with foster homes in Luther and
Wow.
schools in Crescent, and things that have just been tremendous projects in different communities that really have benefited all around this service area. So it's been a lot of fun.
I think it's important to have these conversations too, because most people don't know this.
No, it's not. It's not something that, we talk about this at the co-op sometimes. We have this culture of not really wanting to brag on ourselves. We want to do good work, but we don't want to.
Well, most of us admire humility.
Right, absolutely. So you don't want to just say, hey, look at me. But this is a time where I think we should applaud the members of Central Electric who participate in this program, who give by rounding up their electric bill, because this is a pain point for people. We understand that, especially in July. And when it's going to be over 100 degrees today, and it costs money to use electricity. So for the individuals who choose to round that up, and we say it's just $1, but $1 is $1, and it does add up over time.
Absolutely.
How long have you done this?
The foundation,
Yeah.
Since 2006.
Because I've seen this done in stores and stuff, and I almost wish they'd always do it, because it just seems like a no-brainer, and they have thousands of people go through. And when they say we'd like to round up to $1, who's going to say no?
Right.
Yeah.
It's
Because you
just
really don't
painless
notice it, but
anything, right.
together it makes a difference.
It does, and as we shared earlier, this fund has been able to contribute over $500,000 back to those 22 communities that Calvin just mentioned.
During 2018, the total was almost $70,000. So
Yeah,
for
it
one
does
year
make a
period,
difference, yeah.
It does make a huge difference. Another organization that I'm a part of, I serve on the board for the Oklahoma Auditorium, and that's an organization that has benefited
They
from
have.
Central's foundation in recent history. And the auditorium, through their Museum Without Walls programs and what they do with field trips, they're actually able to serve. We were looking recently at a report where Guthrie, Valhalla, Orlando, Coyle Schools, I think maybe Frontier up in Red Rock was another one. They've been able to do programming in those communities, and Central members have been able to play a part in that by what the foundation board has been able to give to that organization through Operation Roundup. So as Calvin said earlier, it's not just a Stillwater thing. It is sure there's organizations in Stillwater that have benefited, but even those organizations have a far-reaching effect, like Our Daily Bread.
Right. You mentioned the auditorium with them moving to what was Mojo's,
Yes.
and being able to go back into Strickland Park, which has the special needs area as well, and is welcoming to everybody.
Yeah.
You guys are hitting a home run.
Yeah.
And Dr. Washington, by the way, Gay Washington, the executive director, will be on tomorrow morning at 7:05.
Yeah,
It's always a programming note.
Always
Yeah.
enjoyed it.
I just got a text message from her. We have a meeting actually this morning that we have together. So, it's great to see what the membership of Central Electric have done through this program. And again, we want to be humble about it, but we want to share the news. We want to get
Right.
that information out there. So, if there is somebody listening this morning that is in need or has something going on in their lives and they think, okay, maybe this is a resource that I can tap into, again, mycentral.coop, or just call us at the office, stop by our offices. We'd be glad to have a conversation and give you more information about it, let you learn more about the program and how it could possibly help you.
That's great. So, Calvin, great to see you.
Good to be here.
You said you listen on the way to work every day. I appreciate that.
I do.
And he has input, not that often, but every now and then he'll have a good question, and I think, gee, I wish I'd have thought of that.
No, I always enjoy the program, and I get to listen every morning, so it helps with the drive.
So, see, that's just as important as reading, and you can't read radio. I guess you could, but
That's true. See, I'm just trying to get to promote the listening format for you, Steve.
That's right.
Listen in, yeah. So, absolutely.
So appreciate both of and all you do. And
Thank you.
Bailey's here too.
Yeah, Bailey's in the
Left
corner.
hand is in the corner.
Yeah, we'll post this on our social media platforms like we have in the past. So if somebody wants to go back and watch the information information, they can search for My Central Co-op on Facebook, and we'll post that there, also on our YouTube page. And so all this information we shared this morning will be available there. And then again, if you go to mycentral.coop, there's a tab under the community, or there's a page under the community tab that has all of this information about the grant program. Or you can just call our office, 405-372-2884, ask for Aaron Talley, and Aaron can walk you through the whole process.
There you go, Daniel Thrasher, Calvin Oyster, good to see you.
Good to
Our
see you.
friends with Central Electric, and
Thanks.
you'll be back here next Wednesday with Jordan.
Yeah, we'll be on with Jordan. We're gonna have 2 of our youth tour participants, that went to Washington DC earlier this summer, another program offered through Central Electric and all the electric co-ops. We get to send a couple of kids to Washington DC every year that win an essay contest and a presentation, so we're gonna have those, they're
That's
getting
great.
ready to be seniors in high school, so they'll be on next week and talk about that program and what they learned.
That's great, so I'll see you in 2 weeks then.
Sounds great.
So take a time out, we're gonna talk library after this.